Hello class 8 students, welcome everyone. So in this video I am going to provide you some of the short and long answer type questions from the chapter friction. Okay, so you can note down the question and answers in your copies or in your notebooks. Clear? So let's begin. Question number 1, you see, what is meant by rolling friction? Answer, you see, when one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion is called as the rolling friction. This rolling friction or rolling reduces friction. Okay, rolling reduces friction. It is always easier to roll than to slide an object over another object. So rolling friction is much less than sliding friction, remember. Okay, thus rolling reduces friction. Clear? This is the answer of question number 1. Let's move to the question number 2. Why do we slip when we step on a banana peel thrown on the road? Okay, so you see here the inner side of the banana peel. Okay, the inner side of the banana peel is what? It is smooth. Okay, it is smooth. So it will help to reduce the friction between the sole of our shoe and the surface of the road. Okay, the inner side of the banana peel is what? It is smooth and slippery. So it will reduce the friction between the sole of our shoe and the surface of the road, because the sole of our shoe is in touch with the banana peel, and the banana peel is in touch, the inner side of the banana peel is in touch with the surface of the road. So it will help to reduce the friction in that case, because the inner surface of the banana peel is smooth and slippery, and due to this there is a small friction. Okay, which is not enough to prevent our foot from getting slipped. Okay, and thus we will slip backwards. Okay, am I clear to you? Question number 2, the answer of question number 2, the inner surface of banana peel being smooth and slippery, so it reduces the friction between the sole of our shoe and the surface of the road, and this small frictional force is not enough to prevent our foot from slipping backwards. Clear? Let's move to next question. Question number 3. Why does a matchstick light when we strike it on a rough surface? Okay, see, whenever we rub a matchstick against the rough side of a matchbox, there will be friction. There will be friction between the head of the matchstick and the rough side of the matchbox. So it produces what? It produces heat. Friction produces heat. So this heat will burn the chemicals which are present on the head of the matchstick, and due to which the matchstick lights up. Okay, so the matchstick catches fire and start burning. Okay, and the burning of matchstick, remember, the burning of matchstick would not be possible without friction. If there were no friction, then the burning of matchstick would not be possible. It is difficult to light a matchstick by striking it on a smooth surface. Remember, it is difficult to light a matchstick by striking it on a smooth surface, because enough friction is not provided. Enough friction is not provided by the smooth surface to provide or to produce sufficient heat. Therefore, the head of the matchstick is rubbed over the rough surface of the matchbox. Okay, both the rough surface of the matchbox and the head of the matchstick contain some chemicals which will allow it to burn on producing the heat. Clear? So this is the answer of question number 3. You can note it down. When we rub a matchstick against the rough side of a matchbox, then friction between the head of the matchstick and rough side of a matchbox produces heat. So this heat burns the chemicals present on the head of the matchstick, due to which the matchstick lights up. Okay, so if there were no friction, then the matchstick would not have lighten up. Okay, and when we rub the matchstick on a smooth surface, say on a glass, then enough friction is not provided in that case, right? So due to the smooth surface of the glass, enough friction is not provided, which will not produce sufficient heat, so which will not light up the matchstick for a smooth surface, but for rough surface it will light up. Okay, clear? So this is the answer of question number 3. Let's move to the next question. Question number 4. What is the cause of friction? Okay, what is the cause of friction? So in the beginning of the class only I have discussed that Friction is caused by the interlocking of the irregularities. There are large number of irregularities present on the surfaces, even on the smooth surfaces also, which you cannot see with your naked eyes. Large number of irregularities are present on it. Okay, large number of irregularities or irregularities of surfaces are present on the surfaces. Yes. Okay, so the interlocking of irregularities of the two surfaces opposes the motion of one object over the another, and it gives rise to force of friction. So friction is caused by the interlocking of irregularities in the surfaces of the two objects which are in contact with each other. Okay, so when we attempt to move one object over the other, we have to apply a force to overcome the interlocking of the irregularities in their surfaces. So if the surfaces have more roughness, more irregularities, then the friction or the irregularities or friction will be greater. Okay, the force of friction is greater if very rough surfaces are involved. So friction is caused by the irregularities on the two surfaces in contact. Even those surfaces which appear very smooth have a large number of minute irregularities on them. So irregularities on the two surfaces lock into one another, and whenever we attempt to move any surface, we have to apply a large force to overcome the interlocking, to overcome the friction. Okay, so on rough surface there are large number of irregularities, so the force of friction is greater if a rough surface is involved. Clear? So this is the answer of question number 4. Okay, next question. What is drag? What is drag? Okay. See, the frictional force exerted by fluids is called as drag. Simply, the frictional force which is exerted by fluids is called as drag. Okay, fluids are what? Again I am repeating it for you. Fluids are what? The substances which are able to flow very easily are called as fluids. Okay, and these fluids have no fixed shape. Liquids and gases are fluids because they can flow very easily, and the most common example of liquid is what? Water. So water is a fluid, and the most common example of gas is what? Air. Okay, so air is also a fluid. So water and air are the most common examples of fluid. So whenever there is a friction of an object which moves through a fluid, which moves through water, air, etc., then it is called fluid friction, and this fluid friction is only called as the drag. Clear? The frictional force exerted by fluids is called as drag. Okay, or drag force. Are you getting it? And it opposes the motion of an object which moves through the fluid. Clear? This is called as drag. And the last question for today's video and for this chapter only, that why are lubricants applied to rubbing surfaces of machines? Okay, why are lubricants applied to the rubbing surfaces of machines? Clear? So here is the answer. Lubricants such as oil and grease. Okay, oil or grease. Okay. Yes, graphite also. No need to write graphite over here. Okay, just write oil or grease. Okay, so when oil or grease is applied between the moving parts of a machine, when lubricants are applied between the moving parts of a machine, then what happens? A thin layer is formed. A thin layer is formed. Okay, a thin layer of lubricants will be formed there, and the moving surfaces do not directly rub against each other because due to the presence of the thin layer of lubricants. Okay, then what happens? The interlocking of irregularities is avoided to a great extent in that case, because due to the formation of thin layer of lubricant over the moving surfaces of the machines, there will be less chances of interlocking of the irregularities. Okay, so the interlocking of irregularities is avoided to a great extent in that case. Then what happens? The movement becomes smooth. Okay, if movement becomes smooth, then the friction will be reduced. okay, so as to reduce the friction and to increase the efficiency of machines. Remember, so as to reduce the friction and to increase the efficiency of machines, lubricants are applied on the moving parts of the machines. Clear? Okay, clear? So as to reduce the friction and to increase the efficiency of machines, lubricants are applied on the moving parts of the machines. Okay, so with this I will conclude the chapter. This friction chapter is completely over. Okay, I provide you the question and answers from the exercise. Also I provided you the extra question answers, that is short and long answer type questions from this chapter also, question answers from this chapter also, so you can